Hey, what's going on? This is Becker and welcome to another video in the beginner's lessons in university. Now in this video I want to go into something that's very important. It's the cores of SEO, aka what makes stuff go up and down in Google and how we control it. Now it comes down to, oops, went the wrong way, 4 simple things actually, not 3. I'm trying to trick you. And that's the key to being a good teacher. You try and trick your students. But it comes down to 4 things. Relevance of the page that is going to rank in Google, the authority of the domain the page is on that is ranking in Google, the authority of the links going to that page and authority in that domain in Google, and the relevance of the inbound links. Now, whoever has the best combination of this, the strongest combination of this, for example, the relevance of the page could be very high, the relevance of the inbound links could be very high, in any forum, whoever has the most of all these things combined wins. Now, what I'm trying to get a point across right here, the authority of the inbound links and the authority of domain, if those are extremely high, can outdo the fact that the page isn't that relevant, or the relevance of the inbound links isn't that great, and so forth. So these can outweigh each other, and more so it's going to be the authority of the domain and the authority of the inbound links that really decide who's going to be ranking on the top spots in Google. So our goal as SEO is to increase all 4 of those things so we can go out there and rank. Now let me explain each of these to you so that you understand what we're going to be playing with later on. Now, factor A, the relevance of the page. This means what is on the page itself. If we're looking for penguin slippers, this is determined by the words and the images and all the things that are on the page we're ranking in Google. So for example, if the title of the page is penguin slippers, it has something about penguin slippers in the description. The content of the page is about the most luxurious penguin slippers in Antarctica. And they have image titles. Basically, when you put your mouse over an image, you will have the little alt text that comes in. And the videos on the page will be about penguin slippers. This creates a very relevant page to Google that is safe to say, if it shows up for penguin slippers, people are going to find the information they're looking for. Factor B is the authority of the domain, which is one of the most powerful things in Google right now, and it's the hardest to emulate. So essentially what determines the authority of a domain is the links coming into the domain, the quality of links, where the links are coming from, which we'll get into here in a sec. Also, it's determined by the size and amount of pages. This is not saying if you have 1 billion pages on your domain with a picture of a koala bear on them that it's going to increase your domain authority. If the domain has thousands and thousands and millions of pages, sort of like, let's just say Amazon.com, it's going to rank very well. And then social factors. Google looks at traffic going to sites, but also looks at the click-through rates in Google. When people search for a term, go down, whatever gets clicked the most tends to show up a little bit higher in Google, and also looks at social signals. All these things right here are somewhat hard to create. However, this is why Forbes can go out there and rank very easily for huge terms that a little mini site that we create does not have a hope of ranking for. So one big thing we want to aim to do with our sites over the long term is really build their authority out there. And this is mostly represented by domain authority, represented by SEO Moz's Open Site Explorer ratings and so forth. I'll show you how to get those readings here in a second. Now, factor C is the authority of links. Okay, that's what we want to look at next. Now, this means the amount of links coming into the site. So, for example, if I have SourceWave and then someone builds a link from their blog, that is an example of an inbound link, a link going to my site. That's an outbound link from the site linking to me. Okay, so just any links going to our website. Let's put it in English. Okay, so what matters is the power of the pages the links are on and the power of the domain the links are on. For example, if I get a link from Forbes.com, even if it's on a random article not on the home page of the site, a lot of power. On top of that, if we have a page on our site that has a lot of good backlinks coming into it, or a site that is linking to us has a lot of good backlinks coming into it, it has a lot of good authority, that page itself carries a lot of authority in Google's eyes, that will also send juice to us. So it comes in 2 different ways. Now, factor D is the relevance of the links, and this again applies to inbound links coming to our site. So if we have a dog site, and if there's a dog site and it's linking to a video game site, it's not going to really help that video game site's rankings too much. However, if we have a dog site and it's being linked to from a dog site, Google's going to go, oh wow, well this is a relevant link, so this site must be more relevant. Google's reasoning behind that is if there's a dog site and it has a bunch of sites about Russian choreography or something like that linking into it, it's obvious that it's been manipulated SEO. If the site has a bunch of credible dog sites linking into it, then it shows up higher. So also you need to understand the power is still carried. If we have a site domain like Forbes, I just use an example all the time. Very powerful domain authority wise, and it links to our site. The power is still going to get carried over, and we're going to see some increases in rankings. The final thing that matters in the links is the relevance of the anchor text. Anchor text is the text of the link. So for example, if our site's about dog training, people link to our site and the anchor text is dog training. The text of the link that is made up, it's hard to explain, but the text that makes up the link, so dog training is my anchor text right here, this links to my dog site, that's going to be more relevant and it's going to increase the rankings. Now there's a bunch of catches to everything I just laid out here, and that's going to be explained in the penalties video that is in the next section, but you need to understand all four of these things. Now a few things I want to get into really quickly. What would be the perfect storm? If we can go out there and we can create a relevant page on our website that is also a relevant domain, on a domain that we own with high domain authority and trust in Google's eyes, where the links coming into that page have high metrics, aka high domain authority, high page authority, all kind of stuff like that, and the links are coming from relevant sites, we're going to get top rankings. That's essentially all there is to showing up highly in Google. Now, what you need to understand before we get anything is we don't need the perfect storm. As long as we can create a relevant page, we can put it on a decent domain, get inbound links from decent places, not the best places. We can actually go and create a lot of these places ourselves with PBNs, which I'll be showing up. And the links are sort of relevant. We'll still get top rankings in a lot of searches out there. Actually, we can only get about 20% of the equation right, and we'll still get really good rankings. Now, really quickly, people will constantly refer to metrics all the time. A lot of people just look at Majestic and Moz. That works. Majestic is a metrics finder. You can throw a site in there. It will give you the metrics. Moz is a metrics finder. Their Open Site Explorer is a metrics finder. And there's also stuff like Ahrefs and SEMrush. Majestic is accurate and it's simple to use. Moz has the best representation of authority, in my opinion, domain authority and whatnot. Ahrefs finds the most links. So if you're trying to find exact links your competition is using, you can use that. SEMrush is really good for finding keywords that you're already ranking for and don't know about. Now, Majestic is really easy to use, and it provides two metrics, trust flow and citation flow. Majestic, in my opinion, does not explain these very well at all. If you look at the explanations when you click on them, it really doesn't make too much sense. With that being said, most of the time you just want to look at trust flow. The way Majestic explains citation flow is it's the amount of links coming in. Amount of links aren't really the best explanation of how powerful a site is. More so, you want to look at the trust of those links. So, for example, if you have like a 10 citation flow and a 0 trust flow, you know something's up. Both of these can be manipulated to some extent. I'm going to show you Majestic SEO real quick. You can see this is Majestic SEO. You put a website in there, it gives you these two metrics right here. So we want to get sites that we want to get links from pages that have a really good trust flow. That's the main thing we want to be looking at most of the time. Now, when we hop back to it, Moz is another whole entire beast. And the way you can get their metrics is for free is by installing Mozbar. Now, what it looks at is domain authority and page authority, two metrics that's brought up. Now, these represent the overall trust in Google's eyes, the overall trust that Google looks at it. And it's really good to cross-reference these with trust flow from Majestic, and you're going to get a more accurate reading. Now, again, we're going to be looking at these metrics deeper, looking at the links that make them up in later videos, but you just need to understand these two things. Now, Mozbar, you just go and download it, and what it's going to do is exactly what's happening right here. Go throw that in. I'm going to just put this in, and it's going to give us back the domain authority, page authority. There you go. And it kind of looks at the links and all the similar stuff that Majestic does. So that's what people are referring to when they refer to those metrics, so we can kind of get this going in the right way. So with that all being said, this is the cores of SEO and the metrics that make up those cores. In the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to go out there and create your first WordPress site. It's a very basic beginner's video. Most people won't need it, but if you're brand spanking new to SEO, you're in the right place. So we're going to go over that in that video. All right, take it easy.